Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Buffy, where I'll be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 6, Episode 21, 2 to Go. We begin the episode with Xander feeling sick after what they just witnessed, and Buffy worrying that Willow has a head start getting to Jonathan and Andrew, so Anya teleports away and the two discuss how she will fare if she runs into Willow. Xander thinks Warren had it coming, hard agree, but Buffy argues the other two didn't, and they come across Xander's car which is totaled, so Buffy races off, leaving Xander behind, and into the credits we go. Andrew thinks Warren is testing them, but Jonathan says he doesn't give a shit about them, which causes an argument, where Andrew admits that Jonathan hasn't been considered part of the group for a while now. They get into a fight when Anya shows up to fill them in on what's happened, and to warn them that they're next.
Oh my god, Warren. Oh my god. Me.
Anya tells the guard he needs to let the boys out. Uh-oh, a T-Rex is on the way. Oh wait, it's Willow, who pulls a mantis on this cop and starts busting bricks out of the cell wall, even though the two shots don't line up. Willow sends some cops flying, while Andrew says they didn't do anything, but Jonathan says they're guilty for teaming up with Warren, and Buffy makes it to the jail. Willow levitates up to the cell, but the boys are gone, so she takes her frustration out on Anya, and then screams like a 10-year-old, which affects Jonathan and Andrew, so Xander picks them up in a stolen cop car. Jonathan reminisces about how Willow used to be in school before she rams them with a truck.
Okay, any ideas?
Drive faster.
Must go faster.
But Willow uses too much power and collapses, allowing them all to get away. Dawn and Clem are still hanging out, and she asks him for help before we check in with Spike, who has to fight to the death against this guy with flaming hands, played by Dwayne Johnson's stunt double. Dawn and Clem's little side quest is to locate Rack's place, but Clem is nervous about both him and trying to stop Willow, while the gang go to the magic box to work out a plan, and Anya whips out an anti-magic book which she can't read, and Buffy tells Jonathan off when he tries to help, but he does point out that Willow will need to recharge her magic soon. She shows up to Rax, who is creepy towards her, so she magically investigates his insides, and then Dawn and Clem show up, finding Rack super dead, and then run into Willow. Dawn tries to escape, which doesn't work, so she tries to talk Willow down, which also doesn't work, because she mocks her for not being human and offers to end her suffering. Anya and Xander try to translate the spell book, while Andrew tells Jonathan they need to fight their way out, but he refuses, so Andrew rants at Xander about Willow potentially killing them all.
You've never had any tiny bit of sex, have you?
The annoying virgin has a point.
Anya tells Xander that Willow could easily kill him, and they discuss the Spike thing, awkward, before Xander admits that this is all his fault because he saw Warren was armed but was too scared to do anything. Buffy comes to Dawn's rescue and tries the real you is inside you thing, but Willow says Tara was the only thing that made her special, and they have a heart-to-heart, which ends in Willow being downright savage with her words, which lands them in the magic box. She tries to attack the boys, but Ninja Anya does a secret counterspell, while Spike gets his ass kicked in the cave. Good. He's able to eventually get the upper hand and snap his opponent's neck, but that was only test 1, while Willow changes tactics and imbues herself with enough power to give the boys a physical smackdown. So Buffy steps in and they punch each other around. The others take the opportunity to cheese it, but Anya has to stay behind to keep up the spell and watch the drama unfold. The epic girl fight goes on for some time, kinda reminding me of when Buffy and Faith went toe-to-toe, but Willow catches Anya in the act, while Andrew threatens Xander, so Jonathan threatens him, and says when Willow is stopped, they need to go back to jail. With Buffy down, Anya has no protection, and Willow thinks she's won, but nope, because here comes Giles. Yay! Giles is back! Whoop whoop! Anyway, this episode is literally either people running from Willow or fighting her, so not much going on the surface, but there are a lot of important character interactions to pick through. Let's first look at Jonathan and Andrew. They've almost switched roles, as before, Jonathan was trying to convince Andrew to leave Warren and go off on their own, but here, Andrew is the one trying to convince Jonathan to break away from the group and try and make it alone. Andrew still won't admit that he's done anything wrong and is in denial about what a shitbag Warren was, but in contrast, Jonathan is fully aware how guilty they are and what a nutjob Warren was, and how they deserve to go back to prison after it's all over. And I respect him for that. Anya and Xander have quite the moment in this episode, reinforcing that real-life actions can hurt more than magic, and they both get to air their grievances. They both have important character growth, with Xander's admission that he was too scared to tackle Warren for the gun, again a real-life thing, hurting more than magic, which is defining for him, as he has always been everyone's protector, diving headfirst into danger to save everyone. Anya has been known in the past for fleeing when things got rough, and yes, that was when she was human, but I don't think that came into play here. She stayed behind to keep the spell going to help people she doesn't even care about because it was the right thing to do. And I think after her conversation with Xander, she realised what felt right. Dawn was full-on proactive in this episode, and I'm proud of her going on a little side quest for Willow, especially after she was the one who looked after Tara's body when no one else was around. Although things didn't turn out the way she'd hoped, she was brave going to Rax, and she at least kept trying, even when Willow was having a go at her. Speaking of, Willow chose to attack her for being the key. An interesting choice because by this point she's moved beyond that. Physically, she doesn't open anything anymore, and emotionally, she's just Buffy's sister and always has been as far as anyone's concerned. But again, Dawn kept trying even when Willow was mocking her, but it was the real-life threat, in this case being changed back into energy, that hurt the most. Finally, let's look at Buffy and Willow's interactions. Buffy seemed more concerned about stopping Willow from killing than listening to her pain. Yes, she does try the real you is inside you somewhere thingy, but she's more focused on murder changes you, something both she and Faith have been through, and their confrontation quickly turns to violence and becomes less about saving her friend and more about power. Buffy has never really been great with words and instead goes for violence because that's all she knows, which we learn about in going through the motions, and which is why their fight at the end reminds me so much of her and Faith, and her and Glory, and her and Angel. I think you see my point. The only instance I can think of where her words have landed successfully rather than her fists is the Summer's Blood speech she gave to Dawn back in season 5. We have 2 deaths, one human, Rack, who was strung up and magically drained by Willow, and one demon, Flaming Fists guy, who had his neck broken by Spike. That brings our running total to 8 humans, 23 vampires, and 35 demons. So there you have it. That was 2 to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want to be sired by my channel. Alternatively, feel free to check out my other YouTube channels. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.